Funding from the National Science Foundation, Binghamton University, Cornell University, Syracuse University, and the Rochester Institute of Technology are partnering together to create the Upstate New York Energy Storage Engine. 12 News' Kevin Quinn was able to learn more about what this new partnership means for the future of the battery industry and our local economy.
This program puts science and technology at the heart of driving regional economic growth and development.
The Upstate New York Energy Storage Engine is bringing together 4 academic institutions and 2 other organizations at the forefront of the lithium-ion battery industry. The 6 groups are coming together to form a coalition. The goal, to make Upstate New York the capital of battery production. CEO Mira Sampath says workforce development is going to be key to success in the area.
From training at the high school level to skilled technicians working with our community colleges and, of course, advanced degree holders in next-gen engineers and researchers and research scientists who would advance battery technology.
Each institution will focus on a specific section of the partnership. RIT will focus on required safety testing for batteries to get to market. While here in the Southern Tier, Binghamton University will serve as the lead on research and development activities, Syracuse will lead workforce development, and Cornell will focus on accelerating technology from lab to market. Fernando Gomez-Becerro serves as director of the Runway Startups program at Cornell. He says his history working with startup companies will be essential within this initiative.
So my role as a translation director is to make sure that we get companies that are just in that initial moment of understanding the technology, where they need to apply it, and then we super boost them so that they can quickly get to market.
The Upstate New York Energy Storage Engine looks to serve as a complement, working hand in hand with other area programs and funding already secured in recent years. That funding also pertaining to battery research and development. Kevin Quinn, 12 News, Broome County.